injury time with me, Orko, and we have Abresh Meena Kadri as usual. Hi, Abresh.
Hi. Um, Hello. Yeah, I'm audible. You are not.
Yes, you're audible, and so are so is your nose,
So sorry.
right? Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
very sorry. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Go on, please. Yeah,
Yeah. So I was just, I didn't really. I was just saying hi from sportscaster here.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. No, go on, please. Talk about the game.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much went according to script, I think.
Exactly. I mean, it's not something. Again, I would say like it would pretty much sound the same thing, but it wasn't something that was totally unexpected. Yes, what I found disappointing was the fact that we uh, we weren't able to really capitalize on the chances that we could have got, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, there were moments where you could have taken the ball, progressed the ball a little better. There were moments where you could have run at their fullback and done better in that sense.
Right.
There were moments where you could have been,
So yeah.
you could have held
Sorry,
out.
Abhishek, just interrupting you. Let's hear from Astam
अपना
Orang.
बेस्ट देंगे, अपना बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस देंगे। हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और भी अच्छा करें अगले मैच में। थैंक यू।
Oh, we just seem to have missed Astam Orang. She just said हम अपना best देंगे, अपना ये देंगे against against Brazil. And I mean, tough to back that up, Abhishek, based on what we saw, based on what we saw today.
Yes, it is going to be extremely tough. Because to be very honest, I don't think Morocco was great at creating spaces in the final third,
Yeah.
which is why you saw them go for so many long shots.
Hmm.
But that's not going to be the case with Brazil, given what we saw today. Again, the way they created against USA,
Hmm.
they were a lot more incisive, and so it's going to be a lot of trouble for India there, especially with their even today. I mean, both their fullbacks, be it Shubhanga, be it Astam, getting dragged so much.
Hmm.
I mean, it's going to be very, very, very tough.
Yeah. And I think Food has somehow managed to put together a highlights reel of Melody Chanu saves, and it's I
Oh,
I, I honestly don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. Um,
okay, and
Anindya
then
Banerjee, yes, you've hit the nail on the head. This is a very pertinent question, and
is
because yeah,
asked
and
the selection committee.
it's been asked. Let me clarify this. This is a question that's being asked in every group. It's a question that a lot of people are asking. I'm just going to repeat what I said. Um, can your state government afford to host a national team camp? If not, then the answer is no. Okay, let's stop beating around the bush, right? It's the answer is clearly no. You also have two coaches here. um, you know B and Abresh Meena, both licensed. Abresh Meena has a grassroots license, IBD license. We work a lot in this age category, and as somebody, as people who watched a lot of Indian women's football,
Yeah.
and a lot of under 17 women's football as well, or a lot of under 17 footballers. Definitely not, right? But
Yes.
see, Anindya, some debts have to be repaid, right? Some, I mean, some teams are not. Some teams are made for appeasement. Some teams are made for. And think about it, Anindya. If seven members from certain states are not taken, how will they host camps again in that state? It's clear, right? And I'm not going to mince my words. Abrishmina, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's just that I mean, over here the
Hmm.
selections are very preferential, and I mean, there is a serious lack of individual analysis, and what say each individual can bring to the team. Rather, people are looked at as a group, which obviously may not, convert overall in, matches like
Ah,
these.
and Anindya is saying some of the touches and gameplay in the final third were rubbish. I am saying I am saying final third तक जाने की जरूरत नहीं है analysis करने के लिए, because अपने third में भी there were touches and gameplay that was rubbish. Middle third में भी there were touching gameplay that was rubbish. In fact, हम final third तक पहुंचे ही कम है, so I'm saying
Yeah,
I'm saying final third का analysis करके फायदा नहीं है, because we've lost the battle in our only in our defensive third only.
yeah, and to be very honest, see, I would
Hmm.
say that in terms of, say, for example, Neetu Linda. In the beginning, she was pressing, she was trying to recover the ball in the Moroccan half and everything. Okay, fine. There was a strategy over there. They were trying to execute that. But when you don't have a cover, and when you yourself are given balls from your midfield or from your full back,
Hmm.
she's unable to control the ball or take it forward.
Yeah,
Either she
and
is turning back and giving it in the middle, or losing
yeah.
the ball by aimlessly putting it forward.
Hmm.
So yes, as much as, there are certain actions that you would be like, okay, fine, at least that bit was done
Yeah,
okayish.
yeah, yeah.
But then when you see it in perspective on the whole, then it doesn't count.
No, also Morocco kept pushing us back with their verticality, right? They had some amount of verticality. I saw a few tweets saying Astam brilliant interceptions and all, but if you look at Astam's second half pitch map, she really, really handicapped the defense, right?
Absolutely. She was nowhere near her position. Nowhere near. Always getting dragged. And I'm sorry,
Huh.
you can't do that as a fullback. You
half
can't do
the
that as a fullback.
half the time Astam was getting dragged inside inwards, standing just in front of Neetu, Melody Chanu, and half the time she was nowhere to be seen. And some people say, because of foray forward, how many forays forward did we have? Ki, matlab, she was getting dragged. It's simple. She was getting dragged. That's it,
Yeah.
right? And Somen Mukherjee, bang on. I'm so sad that I'm actually saying bang on, but it's a truth. It's a truth. What are the intentions? Are the intentions to just to just have it as a tick box exercise? Just say, oh, don't do things for the sake of doing things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do things for sake of improving the game, right? And Abresh, this is 100. This is in the cost of the World Cup is in the hundreds of crores, obviously, right? I am just imagining how many young girls could have
And
played with
and
this.
sorry, forget Orca, forget going till there also.
Hmm.
Even the IWL players are not given good facilities and food. So it's it's like, I don't know what money, where it's going, what it's being used for. So yeah,
Yeah, and Joshua, I know
bang on.
you're a long time follower of the pod, so you probably know this as well as we do, because we keep harping on it. Not any international. Yes, it's true. It's true. I mean, someone is being there because someone prefers that someone, right? uh, a group of people are close, so two people get in, so the third also gets in. Where does it end? like
Yeah.
like where does it end, right? I get it. I get it. We have to squeeze some money out of some state governments. I get it. But is it worth is it worth showcasing this sort of performance to the entire world, right? That's the question, Abres Meena.
No, clearly no.
Hmm,
Which is why I think we discussed it before as well, that it's so important that we develop ourselves in this age category before we put ourselves in front of the world like this, because then it everything becomes a joke when it comes to India. That's the problem. That's the problem. See, and
And
again, I'm not putting it on the girls, but it's just that the way this system functions, it does it put them in good light as well, right?
yeah,
It's
and
not great for
we
them.
saw some comments also. We saw some comments also online which said, India cricket is just stick to cricket. It's not great to hear that, but
Exactly.
I mean, you understand where these comments are coming from, and as much as you hate to listen to the, I mean, some people put us in this position,
Yeah.
right? Some people put. Soman Mukherjee, where is the roadmap for every age group? Where is the game time? If they do not play, yes, it will always be school level display. It will always be school level display because we will always give preference to big bang initiatives. We will always give preference to showing more than doing, and as long as the that is the attitude that let's show, this
Yeah.
is what it's going to be. At least when the men took the World Cup, under 13 leagues were started, under 15 leagues were only, an under 18 league was there.
Yeah.
We are still awaiting the start. Yes, we are hearing that an under 17 league might be started, but we are still, awaiting the
Yeah.
start of it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing it after the World Cup has gone and passed by, right? We, I mean, and Abreshman, you also very clear. There was an under 17 nationals also held. Exactly zero people were picked up from that.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
core of the team was already pre-decided. Everything is pre-decided. Everything is pre-decided. Nothing is.
It's why, I mean, why even the facade if you're not even going to consider anybody
Because the facade is an important part of um
hosting the World Cup, the legacy.
it's an important part of our system. If we don't do the facade, if you don't do the facade, then is it Indian football anymore? This is the question, right? Albert Rubio, and thank you, Albert, for joining us from where are you joining us. What should India's strategy be for the upcoming game against Brazil? I'm going to be very honest, Albert. I don't think any strategy is going to work at this point of time, given the standard at uh, which we are there, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can just hope to park the bus, but even if we park the
Exactly.
bus, they're going to take shots. Mia Butta scored one with a cracker in the last match, right? It was, and honestly, the US is just a powerhouse, right? But we found out Morocco is also far ahead of us, so I don't know anymore. But I mean, the US, it was just sheer domination, start to finish,
And I think
right?
that's going to be the same when we play against Brazil.
And sorry, I'm saying the US YNT should really not have taken the piss uh, by tweeting it out, by tweeting out saying a first player of Indian origin to score in the World Cup and all. That was very naughty US. Whoever who's hosting their handle, whoever is handling that, very very naughty. But it's true. It's true. I mean, the Jixon Singh moment of this World Cup came through Mia Bhutta. I mean, oh, shit. Oh God, I don't know what to say. The lack of game time showing, yeah, obviously, by the end of it, we are done. By the end of it, we were done. And Anindya,
We were done even like in what was it, the 50th minute,
yeah,
around the 50th minute when we conceded that penalty, right?
the biggest joke, Anindya, is that we had pointed this out many months ago on injury time when we were kind of looking at the squad. So I like one incident that comes to mind is that, so Abrishmin and I, and we played against Hops, a team from which three of these players are, right. So those players were on the bench for Hops, right? They play in the local league. If you look at CRS, their minutes are probably in the triple digits at the max in the
Yeah.
last few years, right? They're not even in the four digits, right? Minutes I'm talking about, right? We played Hops, and their youngest player on paper was 2003. So all of these people that played in today's match were on the bench. Did AFF consider the fact that they did not have game time? Listen to it. I mean, we can put some sort of, obviously they represent the country, so they should be accountable. But I mean, really, I mean, the question on everyone's mind is, even with the lack of game time, lack of system, there are better under 17 footballers. And they
Yeah,
were not picked. There are under 17 footballers we've seen that can keep the ball and they're not picked.
yeah, yeah.
Simple. Simple. And sorry, like, I mean, AFF really did not, you know, did not do us a favor. I think Monty, no point hosting is kind of better to
No,
invest in grass instead. Yeah, I mean 100%. Like, I mean, why? Why did we host the World Cup? We are probably, if the men are probably 20 years from competing in an under 17 World Cup, the women are at least 40 years from competing in a under 17. I mean, it might happen in 20. It might happen in 20 if we start playing regularly now. Now.
I'll tell you,
Ah.
one thing that I was thinking in terms of
Hmm.
facing point of hosting the World Cup. Like, right, there are two essential points that we're told. One is helping the game
Hmm.
reach to more people,
Hmm.
and the second is giving experience to the players who play the World Cup. Right, these are two essential reasons.
Hmm.
A display like this does not bring in more viewership,
Hmm.
right? Because people are obviously like, what are they playing? Why are they playing? It's disappointing, so it doesn't essentially get viewers.
Hmm.
Two, giving experience. When your skill level and your level of play is so much lower than every other country that you're playing, I
Hmm.
am not sure what experience you're really taking out of it also, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about playing against exceptional opponents and being like, wow, they were able to play third man. Can we try and implement it? You need that same level of skill set also to implement that. That skill set you don't have. So either you start working on developing that skill set when kids are 7, 8 years old,
Hmm.
because at 18, 19, 20, you're not going to be developing this skill set. it's
Yeah.
it's just it's just basic normal,
Yeah.
how football functions.
Yeah.
So
And
I
and
don't
then
understand how
yeah, no,
it's
no,
such a
and
tough.
Dennerby said something. Right? Dennerby said this team is tactically they're improving. There are a lot of, but honestly, tactically the two games have been a mess. Like we've done everything that is anti-football in nature. We've not really played by the logical rules of football. Right? We've made some very elementary mistakes. I won't say
Yeah,
we made some, we've been undone by some high level play. Not,
yeah, yeah.
not right. For the second goal, right? For the second goal, right? From a mile away, you can see the that
None is going to
the
come.
overlap is going to happen. It's happening. You can see it. You're screaming into the screen as we were watching it, right? We know
Yeah,
what's going to happen, right? We know what's going to happen, but every sees it, but except the players on the pitch. So my question is like,
you're not scanning.
I mean, forget scanning. I mean, if I pull up the interview, right? If I pull up the interview, I mean, what part of it is true? What part of it is true? Right? The fact that we are tougher to score against, right? The fact that we are tactically improved, right? The fact that other teams will find it difficult to play against us.
None is true. None is turning out to be right. Yeah.
Huh?
I
I
think
mean,
all that's partly the reason why Denemy was so furious today, because he's being proven wrong again and again.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we actually look at the game, if we try and think of it in tactical terms,
Hmm.
I think again where we are faltering majorly is the midfield. I mean, we did see Shilky going for some really bad tackles. I mean, she was extremely lucky to escape with just one yellow card from that game.
Yeah.
And
Should
we
have been
did see
three.
her, yeah, we did see her going for extremely bad tackles. We did see Kajal hoofing without, any sense of direction. So, the uh, majority of the responsibility of progressive football is
Yeah.
put on the midfield. And when that doesn't stand up, this is what you get. You don't get progressive play, and then you don't get defensive play either.
Hmm.
So I think uh, we supremely lack in the midfield area, because wings is something that is that can be developed also, right? But the game intelligence that is required when you're playing in the midfield is something that is developed since you're young.
I think the wings and the midfield were the most the worst positions
Yeah.
today, and they've been a letdown throughout the 180 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? I
Today,
mean,
today, but I also felt that the defense was very like at fault a lot of times, especially like I'm like again, like I've just said that I really thought Astam was at fault for majority of the second half, because a lot of the attack was coming from her flank, and she
uh,
was completely out of position, leaving Naketa completely alone over there. Also, Naketa was at fault because her actions were wrong.
yeah,
Twice we saw her. One though was given as a handball. One
uh,
another time, when the
penalty.
second
Yeah,
goal, happened, her hand was like this. Like if it would have touched, it would have been a handball
no, and
sort of
she escaped. Another time she brought the player down in the box.
yeah,
Super impulsive, right? Super
yeah,
impulsive. Does not need to go in for the tackle there in the box.
absolutely. And then
Uh,
Shubhangi was overrun throughout the game.
yeah, yeah.
Had
Because she kept
no sense
committing.
of holding out. Yeah,
She kept committing. She kept committing. She kept getting beaten.
yeah,
Right? See, Shubhangi should also know. Shubhangi is probably looking at Astam and saying, uh, you know, she's doing that, so I'm not trying to do that. But Astam's playing a physical game, right? Astam's trying to physically hold the opposition back. Shubhangi can't do that, right?
correct.
Shubhangi can't do that. So I mean basics, but um, honestly, I don't think the future of Indian women's football lies with players who treat the ball like a bomb, right?
Yeah,
Who are so scared of playing with the ball with their feet when the whole world is moving ahead and trying to play with the ball, right? We are still
correct.
trying to play without the ball,
Yeah,
right?
you're right. You're right.
And we think having 40% position is going to win us the match. It might win, but you have to be super clinical for that. You're super
Exactly.
clinical
And we're
for
not even that. That's
that.
the point. We're not even that.
Huh. We had one shot in the entire game, and Tita pulled off a very smart save. Right?
Yeah.
Women's Football India said, there's no easy way to say this, but we are just not ready for this. It's true.
Of course.
It's true. I know, and no point in saying it. But again, who knows if the if the selection are better? Who knows? Who knows? Um, Soman Mukherjee saying, will it always remain a photo op for the people who should be laying the roadmap? See where Bangladesh women's team has gone and how they're playing. They would have done better than us. Soman, please ask Mr. Photo Op, because recently I've been only seeing one photo on the AFF handle, like, and it's like it's the same photo again and again and again. Like, I mean, clearly some people love the camera, right? So uh, I mean, clearly that some photo op is happening. I mean, whether it is the girls or not, I don't know, but some photo op is definitely happening, right? And you can check for yourself. You can check for yourself, right? I I know we are doing this post mortem, but we should we should be asking more pertinent questions. And sir, Abhishek, just digressing, some two very interesting stories came out. I want your honest opinion on the stories, as somebody who's very used to stories coming out of thin air. One is the shoes, the case of the new shoes, and the case of the missing mental counselor, All right.
And
Coincidence or huh?
okay, first thing about the shoes, I okay. I I don't think I should really mince my words over here, Orko.
Hmm.
It was a planted story. Sorry.
And so
It's a
was the
planted
second
story.
one.
I
So
have
was the
been a
second one.
yeah, both are planted stories. We've both been journalists and we know how this works. So yeah, it was a planted story. To avoid an embarrassment, they created another embarrassment with
A
the shoe.
diversion.
Yeah,
A diversion. Yeah.
embarrassing diversion nonetheless, that the shoe was not there and all that sort of thing. About the mental coach, okay, to be very honest, if if they still don't have the mental conditioning coach after the Alex Ambrose case, every single person in the AFF should just fire themselves.
They won't. They won't. Miss
Just fire yourself, because if you still don't have a mental conditioning coach after everything that has happened with that team, you guys don't deserve to be in a space where you're making decisions.
Mr. Photo Op can't even come up with a proper diversion, right? You're talking about them firing themselves. Mr. Photo Op can't even come up with a proper diversion. His diversion is saying they didn't get boots, and the journalist printing it. The journalist printing it. I mean, guys, it's you can what's the saying, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. You can't do that. And honestly, the boot thing, 8-0, you think, okay, so
Yeah, if
so
even if they had good boots, it's
boots,
not
what
like
would happen? No, seriously,
not
seriously,
lost 8-0, yeah. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just so childish to try and even blame it on boots
No, and
for
people
a
are
country
falling.
who has a history of playing barefooted.
pe-
Like,
pe- people
spare me the horror, yeah.
people are falling for it hook, line, and sinker. People are falling for the story, right? People are falling for the story, right? It's honestly, guys, my honest thing, stop being so gullible. If you guys are less gullible, okay, we try to be honest with you on injury time. But if you guys are gullible, these things don't even get traction. They completely drown out. Like it's pretty poor. And the second story, I'm actually very angry with it because
Yeah.
the story blames the players for for getting rid of the mental health counselor, saying it was tiring, it was long sessions. I mean, for adults to fire the gun from the shoulders of the players is pretty low.
Yeah.
Is pretty low. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's pretty low.
And especially after the Ambrose case, yeah, how can you even go on and say something like
Yeah.
that? It's
If
just it's unacceptable.
worst case, assume they did say it. Assume they did say we don't need. Okay. You're an adult. You
Who's
know what they've
who
gone
is a
through.
yeah, and who is a
Yeah.
final? Who is an adult here? They
Yeah.
are not the adults, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
At least on paper, they're not the adults, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know,
I mean, it's bizarre if you take decisions based on that, right?
yeah. Yeah. No, today then India under 17 players should say, give me so and so contract, and you'll give it, give it, because players said it, right? You have to do it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, it's sorry, but I don't buy both of the stories. Like you said, we're too much into the ecosystem to really buy any of this.
Yes,
Yeah. So Anindya Banerjee says, uh,
delivery is
I
probably.
don't think. Listen to me, Anindya. If um, if you remain quiet when all of this is going down, you are party to it. Denerby is party to it, right? Nikolai Adam was one of the bravest men there was, right? He got sacked just before the under 17 World Cup. He refused to be party to it. Stephen Constantine, when he was India team coach, he refused to be party to it,
Yeah.
right? He was very outspoken. He was very
Yeah.
outspoken,
Which is
right?
why it wasn't a very easy relationship between AFF and him.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, but this is Denerby just trying to save his own job. Honestly, honestly, this is all it is. Sir, if you side with this, you are as much responsible for it as the other people. I mean, for me, it's simple. Um, Le Petit Pont saying build for the future with the new generation, hope and hard work.
We're trying.
Hope we have, future we still have if we start from the ages of 4 or 3. Hard work is something that is alien to this part of the world. Let me say, I'm saying smart hard work. I'm not saying hard work for the sake of hard work is not hard work is always done, but smart hard work is lacking. Ullas Marar with a quick side jab there, you know.
Nice one.
Nice one, Ullas. Um, and depending on the question, they change from minors to adults. They do, honestly. One
Just
day,
looking forward. Go on, sorry. All.
yeah, no, one day we will hopefully be able to speak without the threat of defamation, and one day we'll be able to tell you a lot more about who's an adult and who's a minor. But that day is not today, unfortunately. Yeah, go on, Abrish Bina. Sorry.
I was just saying that looking forward, again, we have a game against Brazil
Yeah.
remaining. Like we spoke just a while back, it's going to be extremely difficult. Brazil and USA had a fantastic game today. Like what a watch! It was superb to see the amount of intensity that both teams put, the amount of the kind of chances that were created, the amount of chances that were created. It was simply brilliant to watch. I mean, for anybody who's not seen it, please go and watch the highlight of the game. It was genuinely a very good watch. And yes, hence it's going to be extremely difficult for India because uh, Brazil were passing so brilliantly in triangles
Hmm.
that the way Indians are committing today, if
Hmm.
they actually end up committing like that against Brazil, I mean, I don't know how many goals they're going to get. The way Brazil was
Also,
passing.
also a very important question, Abrish, could, I mean, with NLB we got this result, right? Um, maybe, maybe an Indian coach would have also benefited from being on the touchline, because, I mean, we have to ask ourselves, would an Indian coach have done any worse than this?
No, no,
No, right?
no.
Yeah.
See, I when Denby did come and took over the under 17 team, I did like him as a coach. Like,
Hmm.
given what I saw
Hmm.
with after he joined, the few matches that we saw,
Hmm.
it was good. But I think obviously the momentum got broke because of COVID and everything, and
Hmm.
then it's never been the same since then. Probably it's because of the team selections again and all of that. But I don't think he also has been able to do what he probably set out to do.
Just quickly rounding up before we this thing, a few tactical points from my side today. Again, the fullbacks need to stay in position, and they need to stop getting into 1v1 duels when clearly they're not ready for it. Um, Maybe change the keeper. I'm sorry, but it was a it was a nightmare. It it was a nightmarish game from Melody Chanu, and I know I put the tweet out, and I'm honestly I know I've mentioning it multiple times, but called it, and if I saw it, so should have Thomas Dennerby. Honestly, uh, she Melody kept putting the defense under pressure
Yeah.
by not even trying to catch the ball properly. Maybe those are overcast, and maybe the fielders were, I don't know, but Tita did not have any such issues. So I don't know. I honestly, this is the sort of keeper that starting from India in a World Cup, pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Pretty shocking. Like how this particular selection was done. Like for this alone, somebody needs to lose their job. And I have nothing against the girl. I hope she improves. I really hope she improves. But I mean, really, I mean, your aim is to win. You can't have a keeper like that. And for me, last point before I give it to Abrish Mina for closing. Um, Wingers just need to be more spatially aware of where they are. Honestly, they can't charge in like mad bulls, and forget that. I mean, we were losing balls due to basic lack of basic ball control. Forget even tactical decisions. Like basic ball control was letting us down. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and Ullas, I mean, bang! You're just like you're just on the money today, my friend. Like, one
Yeah.
for one day coaches senior team for tournament, then moves on to one next. And I'll be honest with you, Ullas, the senior team honestly looked better when he was there. Now we have a man in charge and who nobody seems to know who the credentials are. I obviously did some digging around and turns out that he was friends of the people who were previously there in charge of national team. So, I mean, whether it be Suryan Chetri or Thomas Dennerby, I think when the car crash is coming, even Michael Schumacher, and honestly, Michael Schumacher is in coma now. Sorry, maybe should use another another example for it. Even Lewis Hamilton can't prevent the car crash when it's coming. Well, this is the Titanic. It is meant to collapse. It is meant to sink. So that's it from my side. Abrishmina, just clearly, just wrap it up, and thanks for joining us, guys. Just Abrishmina, just take it off from here.
Yeah, honestly, pretty similar points. I just felt that the wingers did not have enough, uh, you know, uh, also sense of positioning, as you mentioned, and the ability to just look around as to where their opponents were and where their teammates were. I think there was a serious lack of communication in that sense. I think I said it after the first match as well, that there was a lack of communication between the players, and it's probably going to be perennial. But yeah, that's one thing. Second, I mentioned it. I think the midfield is just not there. Uh, and yeah, I again, yeah, I would agree with your point of the fullbacks being dragged way too much, getting dragged way too much, and they can't afford to do that. Yes, that's pretty much about it. We did talk about the Brazil game, so thank you so much, guys, for
Yeah,
joining us, staying with us. I think was for all those people who have been with us since 8 to now. Thank you so much.
um,
Lovely, connecting with you like this. Always
yeah.
a pleasure
And
talking
uh,
about
and
football.
a piece of very sad news. And Abrishmina, try not to react. But it's a really piece of it's unconnected to Indian football, but something that's connected to all our childhoods. Robbie Coltrane, best known as Rubius Hagrid in Harry Potter, has died. This is yeah, I knew this reaction was coming, and it was my same reaction. Really sad to end the show on this, but guys, the road is long. Uh, stick stick with Indian football. Help
Yes.
your local club out, and help if you guys feel wronged by this result. Help some girls play. Help them play. Help even whatever contribution you can do.
Yeah.
Right? Is something is better than nothing.
Find a local club
Club
that is doing the right thing,
for the
and try
women.
and
Yeah,
try and
yeah.
support as a fan, as a socio, however you want, but
I mean,
like be
your
there.
your time, your money, your resources.
Anything.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Even if you have 10 rupees, give 10 rupees.
Yeah.
Do not be proactive, guys. Like, and honestly, we just discussed Mr. Photo Op and Mr. Traveler won't do it. It's up to us. It's up to us to lead the revolution. I cannot stress on this enough, right? Mr.
Yeah.
Photo Op is just busy planting stories about bullshit stories about boots, right? They're not going to do it. If it's not clear, take it from me. It's clear, right?
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so much, guys, for
and good
joining.
night. And do tune in for the last game
Yes.
on
Please do
both.
watch it also.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
and watch alongs on both Sportscast India and Injury and the tactical review afterwards in Injury Time. So that's it from us. Uh, Goodbye. Uh, you
Good
know,
night. Sayonara.
and adios, and see you next time.